Alright, what's up guys? My name is Patrick and today we are doing a very interesting video. You can see it in the background. This is going to be something that is a very new experience for me. I am definitely by no means a Porsche expert. I barely know anything about them, so this is going to be me kind of discovering them for the first time, and well, this car is basically the car to do that with. I'm with my buddy, Ali.
How's it going?
He is graciously allowing me to drive his beauty. This is gonna be a really cool experience, but I wanted to have you kind of like walk us around the car because
Sure.
At a certain point, I don't know anything about this. Like really, truly, I don't know Porsche at all. So.
Well, I'll be honest with you, as far as Rennlist goes, I don't really know too much. Rennlist is like Porsche's forum. I get roasted on there all the time. I post things to the thread and they're like, why have you asked this? Why do you own a Porsche if you don't know this or that? So I don't know, let's see how much I actually know. So this is my daily driver. I do drive it every day, whether it's in the winter, summer, like every day on summer tires. Currently it's on PS4S. The car is in Carmine Red. This is a .2 car. It has a 4-liter flat six, makes 500 horsepower. It's derived straight out of the Cup car. Pretty much the only differences I would say are the exhaust. So if you pretty much make it open headers, it's practically the same motor as the Cup car, which is really cool just to say. So if you come through, skip quickly through here because I got gigantic rock chips because I drive it every day, as I said. It's on steel brakes with the silver calipers, which were an option. A lot of people have debates on whether or not you should get the carbon ceramic brakes or the steel brakes. For my purposes, I mean, I'm not a racing driver and I don't track it that much. I haven't tracked it this year actually at all. The steel brakes work just fine for the use. I mean, it's Porsche's brakes are going to be unreal at the base level anyway. Just in here, I mean, we discussed this earlier. I didn't option this because I bought this car when it had 8,000 miles on it, like rough around there. And so the fuel filler cap has this option for an aluminium, wherever you're from, filler cap. And it's, I mean, I'm guessing here, I know like the range, it's between $300 and $500. I don't know why you would do that. Like, I didn't know this until afterwards. I was at Porsche and they said, oh my God, you option that? And I was like option, what do you mean option? And they're like, oh, it's like a $200, $300 option to get a fuel filler cap in aluminum, even though it literally feels like plastic. It doesn't feel like aluminum. So I don't understand the point of that.
Yeah, so now that's the reason why I haven't invested a lot of my brain power into learning about Porsches because yeah, I can't afford that.
I've had the car since November. It arrived on my birthday, but I wasn't in the country. So it arrived before I arrived. It went from Boston to Michigan, and I was studying, I do a master's in automotive journalism in the UK. And I was out there, and I watched it arrive on Zoom at my neighbor's house. And he kept it for 2 months, and then when I got here, and you know, I was kind of told by the insurance company as well, like don't drive it because it's like snow and stuff. And the day that I landed, it was like that much snow, ice. I've never driven on snow in my life, and I went for like an hour drive. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, I don't know. What I have over the .1 is the LED taillights. These don't change, only the headlights are like two different options. The taillights remain the same for all the .2 GT3s. This is my favorite part of the car. The way that it's, you know, framed and angled. It's got like these huge fenders at the rear. I love the wing. Lots of people are saying, why didn't you get the Touring? I mean, there's a wing on it that actually works. When I got the car, it sounded like really good to me. And a lot of people, I used to live in Dubai, and people in Dubai were like, oh, you have to get an exhaust for it, otherwise it sounds crap. And I was like, I mean, really? Like, it sounds pretty good. And I was at a buddy's house and he lifted the car and he's like, hey, come here and look under this. And I went and I looked under and it said Sharkworks. And I had no idea that the car had a Sharkworks center muffler bypass, which it does. And that's why it's loud. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I saw the stock tips and I was like, okay. Yeah, but the only other thing I've done is cut the valves. So if you press the button inside, it doesn't do anything. I've actually been told on Rennlist that the exhaust button will add 5 horsepower, but I doubt it. So yeah, I mean, the only thing that I want to do left is just to get bigger tips so it matches the noise, because the stock ones are kind of small. The red trim that follows all the way, so That, I'm pretty sure it's a no-cost option. Don't quote me on that. You can check it out on a Porsche configurator. Lots of people get carbon or the standard silver. I always wanted a car that had like a matching trim, body paint from outside to inside, so that's why I got that. This car, you'll notice, has the 918 carbon bucket seats, and they are ruthlessly uncomfortable, but very cool to look at and very fast on a track. I mean, you feel like you can go a hell of a lot faster in these than on the comfort seats. And the fact that they're all made out of carbon is just, you know, icing on a cake. A manual, and that's one of the other special things about the Dot 2. The Dot 1 didn't have a manual option. You could only get it in PDK, which was much to the chagrin of 911 owners and enthusiasts that were like, that's outrageous, I'm so sorry, there's a B in here and I literally can't. Porsche manuals in the later models, or the current models I should say, they're kind of hybridized manuals. So I can do the same thing that people do in the PDK. I can do flat upshifts, which make a PDK noise, so go ba ba ba.
Gotcha.
And I can leave it in sport and it'll rev match on the way down. That's not very pure, but it does it if you like. I keep sport on when I'm going to like day-to-day traffic just because I don't have to keep rev matching it myself. It's just a lot easier. Yeah, I mean, the experience is a million times better in the manual. Whether you're flat shifting or not, like if you want to go really fast, flat shift it. If you don't, it does like this half-second delay and then the car like tightens up and rips. It's really good for like downshifting. It's not good for heel toe, maybe not for me because the pedal placement's a bit wide and it's angled, but you can still get there. I mean, you're just not doing that action, but you're just moving over. Yeah, and also I think like 911s in general are sports cars. They look like supercars, they sound like supercars, but at the end of the day, it's about the experience. And that's why I got it in a stick shift. Yeah, I think so too.
Man, it's so weird with the sound coming behind.
Yeah, and you get a lot more induction noise with the windows up. And I just did an oil change recently, so feel free to cane it whenever you want.
Yep, there's rev matching. Nice. Yep. I love that. I love when cars have rev matching.
You know, a lot of people are just like, oh, I want to do it myself. Well, you can do it yourself.
You can. It's nice to have.
Yeah.
Wow. Even just like part throttle, it's so responsive.
Yeah. It's super responsive, and so the new 4-liter has insane amounts of torque over the old car. Mm-hmm. The old car revved really quickly, but it kind of hung the same kind of power band from like 5 till all the way out till 9.
Okay.
This really kicks a lot harder.
This steering wheel is also amazing. I love the I guess what's the girth of it.
Right.
It's the only way I can describe it, but like it's very small, very skinny, and I like that. I don't like this is a weird example, but like Dodge Chargers and Challengers, they have these thick wheels, and they just feel like boats. This obviously is a much different car, but the steering wheel is amazing. It sounds so good.
Oh yeah. Once you get to the last 1,000, so between 8 and 9, it sounds completely different to the rest of the range. And it really sounds like it's about to explode, but in an amazing way. And it's all induction noise.
It's awesome. Wow, dude. That no-lift shift is legit.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It bangs.
That's nutty.
It bangs so hard. Like, first, it bangs extremely hard.
Yeah.
Like, second, third, fourth, it'll sound more PDK-like. And I feel like first, it sounds like a sequential in a rally car.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love the shifter, too. I mean, this is like, it's notchy, and you have literally no doubts about what gear you're in at all.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Not, yeah.
Oh, this is crazy. This is a little bit more intense than my Miata. A little bit more of a more car. I'm really impressed with the suspension as well. I mean, like, we're not on, bad roads. This is a pretty smooth road, but it's super compliant. and I would expect nothing less than, you know, a car that's probably had so much R&D
Yeah.
in terms of the suspension. But
I mean, and you're in its stiffest setting.
right. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. If this is the stiffest setting, that's great. Oh, it's great. Brakes are awesome. That's awesome. That still wasn't even 9.
Yeah.
There's so much range. All right, so I might do a first gear. Wow, dude. All right, so that was 9K. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
How amazing that feels. This is like the smoothest engine I've ever driven. Like, to go to 9K on that, that is
9K
amazing.
reliably, smoothly. You can do it pretty much constantly.
Oh, man.
And one of the things that I love too is Porsche warranty is unlike any other warranty for any performance car.
Right.
They will cover the engine, the trans, like pretty much everything except for the brakes. And you could have their engine replaced like 9 times and they will cover it for free. Ferrari, Lamborghini, no shot will they ever do that. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. I'm very surprised at how easy it is to drive. I mean, this is, one of the easiest cars I've ever driven.
Right.
That I'm just hopping in and banging gears off.
Yeah.
Right? The par throttle is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even need to wind it out to have fun. I think that's
Yeah, you
amazing.
don't have to go to 9.
Yeah. This thing's awesome, dude.
Anytime.
And that's funny you mentioned that. So the first time that we met was at our buddy Jeb's house.
Yeah.
And within 5 minutes, you offered me the keys, which I thought was the weirdest thing in the world. You had no idea who I was at that point.
Oh,
So-
well, yeah, I mean, I actually have everyone knows me as having a tendency to do that. I went into a Chipotle, and there was a guy in the parking lot, and he was like, oh my God, that's my dream car. So I gave him the key, and then I went inside Chipotle to get my food, and I was like, you can drive it if you want.
That's awesome.
And then when I came back out, he was still holding the key and looking at it in the same way that I did when I left him 10 minutes
Like,
ago.
what do I do with this?
He's like, what am I supposed to? And I was like, dude, just drive it. It's just a car. Go for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good that you actually use it for its intended purpose.
No, absolutely.
You drive the piss out of this. I've seen you hit launch control on this like 10 times.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I've even blown a transmission on this. It was actually it wasn't my fault according to Porsche. That's why they replaced it under warranty. But the tires had frozen, and I had done launch control, and it just fully like wheel hopped because it was like the rears were on rocks, and shattered the whole thing. And then when I got the new one, I did the break-in. They said you didn't even have to do a break-in because Porsches do break-ins like from the factory for pretty much everything. Yeah, it was fine. And then I still rip launch controls now.
Dude, I don't want to give this back to you, man.
I know. You need to hear it with the windows down. I know it's gonna fuck up your audio,
It'll be okay.
but yeah, it's ridiculous with the windows down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's totally different.
It's so much more raspy.
Really
I like that.
raspy.
All right, so interestingly enough, I actually shot this car a couple weeks ago. So the photos that you're seeing on screen, I'm pretty proud of. They came out pretty well. And they are potentially going to be used in a magazine that you're working on. So you could tell a little bit about that, because I think it's very interesting that you're starting this.
Yeah, so I started a car magazine around early December. It kind of focuses on anything enthusiast based, so there's no like temperament that it has to be exotics or it has to be expensive. I mean, we do have like Aventadors and, you know, Ferraris and stuff like that in the first issue that's coming out next month. But, you know, I'm gonna do your brother's Elantra. Hopefully I'll do your Miata. I've done a GR86. My magazine's kind of based on that. We're completely unfiltered. We use profanity.
Yeah.
We don't have any like requirements where sponsors say that you have to do this or do that. We're fully self-funded. So yeah, that's the basis of us. And I mean, some of the other things that we touch on that I'm proud of is mental health. So every month we write some article on mental health, whether it's an interview with someone who's had a car that's helped them through mental health issues, or like me personally, I have a personality disorder, and you know, cars have always helped me through that. So I've written articles for mental health months on Drive Tribe and in my magazine, and we're proud of that. And yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, so I'll plug the Instagram. The magazine is called Corrupt. I don't know if you actually mentioned it, which is kind of
I don't know. I totally do it.
I'll put it all on the screen. But yeah, check it out. It's definitely going to be very interesting. And I was reading through it. It definitely made me chuckle. The copy that you used was pretty funny in a sense. It's very informal. So that's awesome. Check that out. But overall, thank you so much for letting me rip your car. This is not a chance that I would very often get. So very, very appreciative.
No, absolutely. And anytime you like.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.